Just brought him over some fish. No harm intended. Your kind never does mean any harm. What do you mean, my kind? Welcome, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by. This time I'm coming at you for a video it's kind of unique, something I don't generally do, but that's because usually when a boutique label, in this case such as Vinegar Syndrome or any other boutique label, puts out a Blu-ray of a classic, ancient cult movie from the 70s or the 80s, it usually goes just fine. And I'm basically making this video because, obviously I don't get every single boutique labels release, but this is the first time I think in all of my Blu-ray collecting of boutique, from boutique labels of old classic cult movies, this is the first time I think I can think of that there's really been this kind of I don't know what, just this weird situation with Terror at Tenkiller. I'm coming at you to basically just do a video talking about what I can only call the Terror at Tenkiller Vinegar Syndrome debacle with their recent 4K and Blu-ray combo pack release. Oh man, so I've been a fan of Terror at Tenkiller for probably about 20 years, give or take. And the first version I got was this previously viewed VHS from the late 80s from a video store, and then I ended up getting several years later this DVD. I think it's the only North American DVD before the Vinegar Syndrome release, or that's not on DVD, it's 4K and Blu-ray, and it's a double pack with, a double feature with Last Slumber Party. And both versions, and one can only assume all versions worldwide of Terror at Tenkiller before the 4K / Blu-ray release came out, basically featured, from what I know or from my experience, two different versions, VHS and DVD. Both featured this ADR dialogue and this goofy synthesizer music with the famous, if you're a fan of the original Terror at Tenkiller with the original sound, it's wow, wow, wow. I probably did that wrong. It's woo, woo, woo. I don't know. But anyway, you know the thing, and yeah, wow, 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 whatever thing he does, it's sometimes he does it with the harmonica, whatever. And that was Terror at Tenkiller for us Terror at Tenkiller fans, presumably from, when the VHS, North American VHS came out in the late 80s until, the 4K and Blu-ray came out. That was Terror at Tenkiller, this goofy film which was shot on film that, for whatever reason was ADR'd, all the dialogue was redone, presumably from the actual actors that are on screen, just, come back and replace the dialogue. Maybe they just shot it like Italian movies, who knows, maybe they shot it that way just, without having to worry about sound on, on the set or on the actual recording sound on set, and just intended it to replace the sound. But then what ended up happening is, I don't know if I saw it on YouTube or on another VHS, but I did at one point see a Terror at Tenkiller trailer, a video trailer. And it's holy crap, that was the first time it occurred to me. This was probably years and years ago. And the first time that I ever saw anything which included basically what seemed like actual production audio of the dialogue. So people would be saying the scenes oh, whatever, scream, or, scenes from the movie, but it wouldn't be the ADR replaced dialogue that we know from the VHS and DVD release. It was actually in the trailer. It was actually on set, on location, actual production audio from the take and the actual audio. And it made me think, okay, well, they did record audio. Why is the and then I can only assume well, I don't know, someone just probably felt it was just a mystery to me even before the 4K came out. Okay, they did record audio, why did they redo it? And I still actually don't know why they redid it. One can only assume United, I think they're the outfit that put out the VHS in North America, they thought the movie, was fine, but they didn't like the music and or the way the dialogue sounded or something, so maybe the United Home Video or the video distributor is the one who wanted them to redo the sound. I don't know, but at any rate, Terror at Tenkiller, ever since I got it, early 2000s on VHS, has sounded one way. Cut to, I remember, I don't know when the hell it was, 2000, who the hell knows? In recent years, it was announced that VCI was going to actually do a new 4K restoration of Terror at Tenkiller and put out a Blu-ray, and I was like half excited because I'm like, wow, Terror at Tenkiller Blu-ray. And then I was like, oh, VCI, damn it, that's too bad. And then, like the release date came and went, nothing ever materialized, and it's just like, and then after a while it was like, oh, Vinegar Syndrome, the Terror at Tenkiller 4K is still happening, but Vinegar Syndrome's going to do it. And then I was like, oh my God, that's so much better news than VCI doing it. I mean, I didn't really necessarily, when I heard the original news about VCI, I mean, I was, it was just like, I was like, well, at least someone's doing it. But then when I heard Vinegar Syndrome was going to do it, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And I can't remember when the hell, probably when Vinegar Syndrome first posted like because I think more or less, more oftentimes than not, or maybe all the time, they like cut their own trailers based on their new, scans and new footage and stuff, or, they take their new scan and they cut their own Vinegar Syndrome trailer, I think, most oftentimes, or all the time. And I think that was the first time I was like, oh, okay, just like with the old Terror at Tenkiller trailer, this is like what sounds like it's not the ADR replaced dialogue, but it's like the actual production audio dialogue and screams and all this stuff. And it was just, at that point, I was just like, oh my God, what is going on? Like, the Terror at Tenkiller trailers have, so far, the Blu-ray or 4K hadn't been released yet, and it's like, the trailers so far have the production audio, but the releases have this, this ADR replaced audio. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, oh wait, Vinegar Syndrome cuts their own trailer based on, historically based, they're just taking from footage, audio and video of their scan to promote their scan and stuff. Makes sense. So I'm like, oh shit, maybe that means that their release is going to be like the original audio, the original production audio, and I don't know, I think there was glimpses of the stupid original. It's so weird because when I say original, I don't mean original as in, there's like two different versions of the same word that apply to this. Like you could say original audio meaning the audio that was on the VHS in the DVD, or also original audio meaning like the audio that they originally did to finish the film, and then it was then replaced by the audio that would go on to be on the VHS and the DVD. It's so confusing. So it's like, I don't know if I can say original for, whatever, but so then I was starting to get worried. I was like, God dang, that probably means this whole movie is going to have the quote-unquote, well, I'm not going to say original audio, I'll say the audio that was finished when they first finished the film, with the music and the actual production, recorded dialogue and screams and all this kind of stuff. So part of me was like intrigued, like, okay, that's kind of cool, because it'd be cool to hear that, but it's like at the same time I'm used to this version of the audio, and you could hear bits and pieces of the stupid, oh God, I always want to say original. The first, how do I refer to the original audio without saying? I guess I say original. The audio that was presumably presented in their, we'll just say first pass, maybe, meaning the recorded dialogue and screams on set, and the first kind of version of music, the version of the audio that's on the Vinegar Syndrome release. And it's just like the music's so like stupid, and it's just like I've seen it once, but I can't remember. It's just like stupid compared to like the past two, or the version, I can say maybe version 1 and version 2. Version 2 is the version that's on the VHS and the DVDs that have existed for decades. So all of a sudden we get like this version, there we go, version 1 sound, which is, the sound that they probably finished, the production company probably finished the movie as, with the original recorded on set dialogue and screams in their version of, I guess, what music they thought was good, which I completely disagree with. And then perhaps when the studio distributed on VHS got a hold of it and said, yeah, we'll do this, but we don't like the sound, the music and the way the dialogue sounds. So if you can redo the dialogue and we'll have someone else do the music or something, we'll put this movie out.
Hi.
Hey babe, you and me got some serious problems. We gotta work a few things out, you know what I mean?
Well, this isn't a very good time or place, Josh.
Fine. I can wait.
Hi.
Hey babe, you and me got some serious problems. We gotta work a few things out, you know what I mean?
Well, this isn't a very good time or place, Josh. I mean, couldn't we...
Fine. I can wait.
That's all I can, not having seen the special features or anything of the Blu-ray because I don't own it, that's the only thing I can assume. So cut to, I never purchased the Blu-ray yet, basically because of this debacle. I have seen the whole film, of the Blu-ray. I haven't seen the special features, but I've seen the Blu-ray release and heard, the, whatever I called the, version 1 audio.
Besides, I just came over to tell you Josh is on campus. He came by the room looking for you. His usual Prince Charming self, I might add.
He's already been here.
So what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Tell him, I guess.
I don't know why it is so hard for you.
Well, it's hard to explain to someone who doesn't really know him.
Besides, I just came over to tell you Josh is on campus. He came by the room looking for you. His usual Prince Charming self, I might add.
Too late. He's already been here.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know. Tell him, I guess.
Ugh. I don't know why it is so hard for you.
I know,
I mean, when...
but it's hard to explain to someone who doesn't really know him. Sometimes he can be a prince.
And it's just like, on one hand, it's cool to see to hear a different version, but on the other hand, it's like, God, well, we've been watching, or in my case, I've been watching this other version of the audio of Terror at Tenkiller for decades. This is how the movie is to me. So all of a sudden, you replace the the audio that I'm used to, the version 2. I think every time I do it, I make a different. I don't know if I was calling it version 1 or version 2, but. Version 2 audio is what I'm used to. Now all of a sudden you give us version 1 audio, which is, and there, people who, on forums who complain about the audio in the Vinegar Syndrome release, people get on their ass and they say, well, this is the original sound. It's like, okay, well, what do you mean by original sound? Like the original sound no one ever heard before, which in essence makes it new sound? Like it might be the original sound, but if it's never been put out, it's in essence new sound, even though it's the first sound. It's so freaking weird, this whole situation.
Come on. Stop it! Leave her alone! Get God damn it, Josh, leave her alone!
So it might be original sound, but to all of us Tenkiller fans for, years and decades, it's new sound, the original new sound.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I thought we'd had it for a minute there. You're gonna have some wild bruises there.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I thought we'd had it for a minute there. You're gonna have some wild bruises later.
So, needless to say, one can only assume Vinegar Syndrome, having gone back, they're going to tackle, the restoration, in 4K, version of Terror at Tenkiller, and one can only assume they go back to the original elements, which are, I guess, one can only assume the original elements, not knowing anything potentially about the fact that some point after the film was completed, before it was originally distributed in the 80s, at some point they redid the sound, and Vinegar Syndrome, we can only assume, knew nothing about that, because from what I understand, I mean, in a perfect world they'd have both audio tracks on the Blu-ray, and from what I understand, I don't think that's the case. I think it's you know, probably just the version 1 audio, the quote-unquote original audio, version 1, not the version 2 audio everyone who's been a fan of this movie for years and decades are used to and enjoy.
This doesn't seem like something she'd do. Did you have a fight?
Not a fight, no. Things have kind of cooled off a little bit, though.
You just don't want to admit that she ran off with some cowboy from Stiffy's.
Just doesn't seem like something she'd do. You have a fight?
Not a fight. No. Things have kind of cooled off a little bit, though.
You just don't want to admit that she ran off with some cowboy from Stiffy's.
So it's just like, oh my God, you know, I just wanted to stop on by to make a video, and this is kind of all over the place probably, but stop on by to make a video about just my thoughts about it and why, in case some of you are wondering why I've never reviewed the Blu-ray yet, that's why I haven't bought it. Because it's kind of like, why, you know, I've seen it, you know, I've seen the movie with version 1 audio, but it's just, it's such a weird situation. It's like so goofy. Yeah, I have more of a problem with the version 1 music necessarily than the version 1, you know, dialogue and stuff. Although, let's face it, when you watch a movie for decades and you're used to a movie being this way and the dialogue, you know, performed this way, like the version 2 dialogue and sound that I'm used to, it's just like all of a sudden you go back and see the movie with the same visual, but it's got a completely, like, all the lines are completely different versions of the lines. It's like, oh my God, what a debacle.
I don't think I want to talk to you anymore. I'm going to hang up.
Listen, you son of a bitch. You come around here, just show your face without an invitation, and I will personally call the police and your parents and tell them exactly what kind of scum you are.
I don't think I want to talk to you anymore. I'm going to hang up.
Listen, you son of a bitch, you come around here, just show your face without an invitation, and I will personally call the police and your parents and tell them exactly what kind of scum you are.
So I don't know who the hell I'm just kind of making this for myself, and those of you who are wondering where the hell you were so excited about the Blu-ray release of Terror at Tenkiller, where's your review? Well, it's because I haven't bought it. I mean, I might buy it for, you know, Vinegar Syndrome is just like the prices are astronomical because it's like 4K and Blu-ray. The cheapest I think I've seen it come down like on Amazon is $26, and sometimes I thought about it, but it's just like, oh my God, you know, it's a real bummer. Like in a perfect world, I guess I could do it. I'll probably do it for this video where I'll show, you know, I'll probably use the actual new Vinegar Syndrome scan and show clips of what I call, you know, version, you know, 2 audio, the audio we're all used to, and then version 1 audio, just to show you the differences of, you know, what I'm talking about here. Probably, you know, in a perfect world, it wouldn't be that hard to just put version 2 audio on the Vinegar Syndrome, you know, scan, and that's maybe what I'll do or whatever, because gosh knows the new scan visually is just like amazing and like, oh my God, a godsend. But it's just such a goofy situation because it's like you've got this amazing new image for the movie, but then you've got this audio which is completely different music. It doesn't, you know, in my opinion, like if the music was better, it'd be a different story. But I mean, the music in the, you know, version 2 or whatever that I've been watching for the last 2 decades, I mean, it's just so goofy and fun, you know. You know, wah, 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 or whatever, however the music goes or whatever. That's like the chase scene music at the end. Wah, wah, wah. So, you know, and the music in version 1 version is just so goofy. I want to say it's almost like some kind of fairy tale. Just doop-a-doop. I always just go back to like, I don't know, it's just, I only saw it once, so I don't have it very memorized, but.
Okay, Les, that's it. I've had it. Just get up and get some stuff packed. You're going with me to the lake. I'll probably even get you a job if you want to stay all summer. Come on, move it.
Turn off that damn radio. Okay, Les, that's it. I've had it. Just get up and get some stuff packed. You're going with me to the lake. You can probably even get you a job if you want to stay all summer. Come on, move it.
Oh my God. So I guess that's pretty much all I got to say. I guess I'm kind of hoping that, people who are interested in possibly picking up the Blu-ray, maybe. But the thing is, if you haven't seen the movie, this isn't going to really matter to you. That's why this situation is so weird. Because now, as a result of this, a lot of people don't know about a movie, and an old slasher until Vinegar Syndrome or a boutique label puts it out. So now a lot of people are going to see Terror at Tenkiller for the first time with this, version 1 audio, which isn't the way we've all of us Tenkiller fans have experienced it for the last decades. And it's just like, oh my God. So it's just the goofiest situation, and I'm sure stuff like this has probably already happened out there with boutique labels releasing obscure movies and stuff, but I think this is the first time I can remember it happening, and I just wanted to make a video just to kind of vent about it, and just like, in case any of you are wondering why I never reviewed the Blu-ray, it's because I don't have it, because it's just like, it's so freaking annoying. What I'll probably do instead of, buying the Blu-ray is just, freaking put the version 2 audio with the Vinegar Syndrome scan on my own or something. And granted, the vision, the image probably won't be as amazing as it is in the Blu-ray or whatever, but it'll at least be that scan. But yeah, that's about all I've got to say, I guess, for this debacle. But what a shame, when I first heard about a Blu-ray for Terror at Tenkiller, I was like, oh hell yeah, and then Vinegar Syndrome, it's like, oh hell yeah, and then like I say, I think I got worried when I saw that Vinegar Syndrome trailer, knowing that they just take scenes from the movie and make a trailer out of it. I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be, version 1 audio, and as much as it's kind of cool to hear version 1 audio, it's like, unless we get version 2 audio as well, this release is going to be really weird. And I'm really surprised, honestly, that Vinegar Syndrome, that someone didn't let them know about, like, no one knew that there was this version 2 audio. And it's just like, it just makes you think, oh God. But it's so weird because, like I say, if you're going to do a movie, you go back to the the original or the best elements you can find, and if those have the original version 1 sound, that was completed before whoever it was, told them to redo it, it's just like, you just figure, well, this is the sound, But the thing is, if I had a boutique label, I mean, every title probably, every title that I go to undertake, you have to do some research and like look at other versions. There's probably something on YouTube, even if it's just clips, and to see, okay, like, what is out there in the wild, as it were, what does this look and sound like? Because, without doing that, you run into situations like this where you've got this otherwise stellar release, visually. I mean, the image, oh my God, is amazing. But then you've got this version 1 audio that none of us have heard until probably this version came out. What people can say the original audio, well, yeah, it's the original audio that's new, because we've never heard it until now. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm just saying the same things over and over and over. So yeah, I don't know if this video is, I guess I did it to like both rant and also like try to inform people out there about this title and this release and everything that I can figure out, things that I know and hypothesize about regarding this release. All I know is it's a bummer, and if Vinegar Syndrome could have only, as I say this, I'm hoping it's not this. Well, I hope it is this way, but it probably isn't. That Vinegar Syndrome did put the other audio track on the release, but they probably didn't, because if they had, I probably would have read something about that in the forums or whatever, whenever I was like trying to research this release and the debacle with the sound and stuff. So, in a perfect world, they would have researched like the original, the releases that existed online or YouTube, and just seen bits and pieces of the movie, and it's like, oh my God, this is like completely different sound than what we're working with here. We should probably try to track down that sound and put that on as an audio option, because And it wouldn't. All you got to do is pretty much. The sound's pretty good on the DVD. All you got to do is just rip the sound off the DVD if you have to. I mean, if that's if that's the only place you can find the sound, because who knows, the original sound might be gone. It's just, oh my God. Because one can only assume, a different party asked them to redo the sounds, so whoever asked them to redo it would probably be the people who had it, and maybe it's gone. Like I say, if it's United who put out the original VHS, I think it is, I can only assume they wanted it done or whatever, so then they would have had the, sound, and they are defunct, and it's just like, oh my God. But like I say, if worst case scenario, I mean, you just take it from the DVD, and you'd be fine. But anyway, as always, this video probably turned out to be way too long, but it's such a bummer, about this release. But I'll probably, like I say, maybe do my best to just put the DVD sound with the new Vinegar Syndrome scan and just like make this digital file that I can just watch. Best of both worlds, because as cool as it is, let's I'm not saying that it's not cool in some kind of a way to see version 1 audio or to hear version 1 audio. It's definitely cool to hear it and hear all of the original production audio, and the fact that the main character actually does this narration, kind of like, you hear the thoughts in her mind, which I don't think is, I think it's only like at the very end of the version 2 audio. Like, I think it's there, but maybe at the very end. Like this one, it's like throughout or something. So it's like, it's interesting to see to hear the different, the version 1 audio. But when you're used to the version 2 audio, it's like you don't want version 1 audio to replace it. You'd like to have both, so I can listen to whichever one I want, which would mostly be version 2 audio, obviously. But I guess that pretty much does it for this video. Just such a debacle, such a bummer situation. But feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. Like, have you watched, were you familiar with this movie before the Blu-ray came out, or did you see it for the very first time with the Blu-ray and you're now like, well, version 2 audio, what are you talking about? I mean, like I say, it's in my opinion that the music is much better and more fun and kind of low-budgety fun and enjoyable in version 2 audio. But I mean, you're just biased because, I mean, the 20 years of experiencing a movie, I mean, obviously the first way you experience it is going to be the way you feel it should be. So it's just so weird that so many people probably seen this for the first time because of this release, but they're not seeing hearing the version I'm familiar with, and oh my God. So anyway, feel free to leave your comments, thoughts, what you think about this release in regards to the things I'm saying. And I guess if you made it this far into the video all the way through, thank you so very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Guess, as always, we'll catch you on the next video.
Well, call me sometime at the Cove.
Sure.
I usually have to work through the noon hour, but if you can call me after lunch, it'd be great.
Okay.
I'd ask you in, but the people that I'm staying with, if I had a guy in, they would kill me, so we better not this time.
Sure.
But seriously, call me, okay?
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, call me sometime at the Cove.
Sure.
I usually have to work through the noon hour, but if you can call me after lunch, that'd be great.
Okay.
I'd ask you in, but the people that I'm staying with, if I had a guy in, they would kill me, so we better not this time.
Sure.
But seriously, call me.
Okay.